Hey everyone! Today, we're diving into another terrifying case. Make sure to support my channel by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. On September 8, 2017, Taylor Wright, a 33-year-old private investigator with a fearless attitude, made a decision that would forever change her fate. Recently divorced and trying to start fresh, she had moved in with her girlfriend, Cassandra Waller, in Pensacola, Florida. Though the stress of her ongoing legal battles with her ex-husband loomed over her, she was determined to move forward. That day, Taylor stepped out of the house to meet a friend, unaware that she was walking straight into a deadly trap. Born on April 23, 1984, Taylor had always been a strong-willed woman. At 19, she met Jeff Wright. Their relationship was a roller coaster of passion and struggles. But despite their ups and downs, they believed their love could endure anything. 3 years later, they tied the knot. Taylor was ambitious. After graduating from the University of North Carolina in 2008, she pursued a career in law enforcement, becoming a police officer in Jacksonville, North Carolina. By 2011, the couple had a son. But the joys of parenthood also brought new challenges. Over time, their relationship began to unravel. The once happy marriage turned into a battlefield, and by 2015, Taylor and Jeff initiated their divorce proceedings. The separation was anything but amicable. Jeff was convinced that Taylor was unfaithful, and his suspicions were confirmed when she moved in with Cassandra. But their disagreements weren't just about emotions. Money and the custody of their son became the center of their bitter feud. Taylor, no longer working as a police officer, had transitioned into private investigation, a profession that matched her relentless and bold personality. However, her erratic behavior during the divorce made things difficult. She had been arrested multiple times for harassment. She even followed Jeff when he picked up their son. This behavior ultimately led to Jeff gaining full custody in 2016, a decision that enraged Taylor. She was not one to back down from a fight, and she immediately launched a legal battle to regain custody. By September 2017, tensions had escalated beyond control. Taylor was embroiled in a fierce financial dispute with Jeff. In a desperate move to outmaneuver him, she secretly withdrew $100,000 from their joint account, money that was supposed to be used for child support. Knowing that Jeff would come after her, she devised a plan. She would divide the money and entrust portions of it to friends for safekeeping. One of those friends was Ashley MacArthur, a former crime scene technician with whom Taylor had developed a deep friendship over the past year. Taylor trusted Ashley enough to give her $34,000 for safekeeping. But trust can be a dangerous thing, especially when money is involved. Taylor thought she was securing her future. She had no idea. She had just sealed her fate. Taylor Wright had been dealing with a mountain of problems, but none seemed as pressing as the money she had entrusted to her friend, Ashley MacArthur. When Taylor needed it back, Ashley always had a new excuse. There were issues with the bank. She hadn't had time to withdraw it. The reasons kept piling up, and Taylor's suspicions grew stronger. Was the money gone? Determined, Taylor persistently demanded Ashley return the full amount. But Ashley evaded her every time. Frustrated and desperate, Taylor confided in her close friend, Cassandra Waller, during dinner on the evening of September 7, 2017. Over a dimly lit table at the restaurant, Taylor vented about her financial troubles and Ashley's reluctance to return the money. Cassandra listened intently, offering words of support, but even she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Ashley wasn't just delaying, she was hiding something. Taylor revealed that the next day, September 8th, she and Ashley were supposed to meet at the bank to withdraw the $34,000. As Cassandra left for work that morning, she noticed Ashley parked near the driveway, waiting for Taylor. That would be the last time Cassandra ever saw her girlfriend. As the hours passed, Taylor stopped responding to Cassandra's messages. When she finally received a text, it felt off. Taylor had suddenly backed out of their dinner plans, claiming she needed time to clear her head. But Cassandra knew Taylor better than that. As a private investigator, Taylor had the skills to vanish if she wanted to. But this disappearance didn't feel like her choice. Worry gnawed at Cassandra. She repeatedly called Taylor, but the calls went unanswered. Strangely, some of her messages were marked as read. Yet there was no reply. Days passed, and Taylor's absence became impossible to ignore. She hadn't returned home. Her belongings were untouched. Most disturbing of all, she hadn't contacted her young son, a move completely out of character. Growing increasingly anxious, Cassandra reached out to the police. Instead of immediate action, they advised her to check with Taylor's ex-husband, Jeff Wright. When she did, Jeff revealed that even their son had been trying to reach Taylor, but to no avail. Then, he issued a chilling warning. Taylor won't like that you involved the police. Be careful. By then, Cassandra's fear had turned into terror. She called hospitals, desperate for any sign of Taylor. After a week with no leads, she filed a missing persons report. The police began their investigation, first questioning Cassandra, since she had lived with Taylor. Searching their home, they found Taylor's ID, cash, and even a revolver. Items she would never leave behind if she were voluntarily disappearing. If Taylor had truly gone off the grid, why was everything she needed still at home? The investigation quickly shifted focus. Jeff, despite his ongoing custody battle with Taylor, was ruled out. He had been in North Carolina the entire time. That left one person, Ashley MacArthur. Ashley, the last person to see Taylor, showed no signs of distress. In her police interview, she was eerily flirtatious, even carefree, as though her friend's disappearance meant nothing. According to her, Taylor had already taken the money, packed it in a travel bag, and left. No reason to worry, she insisted. But as detectives dug deeper, Ashley's story started unraveling. She claimed that on September 8th, she and Taylor had spent the day driving around, visiting various locations, and even stopping by her family's property for horseback riding. Later, Ashley said, she dropped Taylor off at her house, where Taylor supposedly took an Uber to a bar. The problem? There was no evidence that Taylor had ever gotten into an Uber that night. I don't believe Taylor's been harmed, Ashley told detectives with a casual shrug. I think she's just doing what she does. She's tough, always carrying weapons, knives, guns. She's not an easy target. The more police scrutinized Ashley, the more the cracks in her story widened. Text messages between her and Taylor painted a different picture, one where Taylor was begging for her money back, and Ashley was dodging her with endless excuses. It became clear Ashley had the most to gain from Taylor's disappearance, and she was the only one who knew what had really happened to her. The investigation into Taylor Wright's disappearance took a chilling turn when detectives uncovered inconsistencies in Ashley MacArthur's statements. Initially, Ashley claimed that Taylor had called an Uber, but there was no record to confirm it. The lack of evidence raised suspicions, but without concrete proof, the investigators had no choice but to let Ashley go. Despite being free, Ashley remained strangely involved, contacting the police almost daily to ask about the case. It was odd. Why was she so concerned if she had insisted that Taylor was fine? To seem cooperative, she even provided new details, mentioning people she had seen Taylor with. But the detectives weren't convinced. They kept circling back to one undeniable fact. Ashley owed Taylor $34,000. Forensic experts knew that people had committed heinous crimes over much less. Could Ashley have murdered her friend to avoid repaying the money? The theory became even more plausible when investigators learned that Ashley had deposited Taylor's check into her own account. If she had already spent the money, was she stalling for time? And when Taylor refused to let the debt slide, had Ashley decided to silence her for good? Ashley's past made her even more suspicious. She had previously worked as a crime scene technician, meaning she understood the intricacies of investigations. Her husband, Zachary MacArthur, was a former deputy sheriff, raising concerns about whether Ashley had inside connections that could help her evade capture. Taylor Wright was reported missing on September 14, 2017. By October, Ashley was questioned for the second time. This time, detectives noticed a drastic change in her demeanor. The woman who had once been flirtatious and outgoing now appeared nervous and defensive. She knew a second interrogation meant that the police had something against her. And she was right. A major breakthrough came when authorities gained access to Taylor's phone records. Ashley's alibi crumbled. The locations she claimed they had visited did not match the records. Investigators began scrutinizing Ashley's and her husband's phone and bank records, uncovering even more damning evidence. On the day Taylor vanished, Ashley had made multiple calls from a property owned by the MacArthurs, nowhere near where she initially said she had been. As detectives continued digging, they uncovered another alarming detail. Ashley had forged Taylor's signature to deposit the $34,000 check. This wasn't just about financial fraud anymore. Something much darker was at play. Under pressure, Ashley changed her story. She now claimed Taylor had taken an Uber to buy illegal substances and later returned to the farm. Why hadn't she mentioned this before? She said she didn't want to ruin Taylor's reputation, but the detectives weren't buying it. If Ashley was so concerned, why hadn't she called the police when Taylor didn't return? Why hadn't she tried to find her, realizing she was caught in a web of lies? Ashley eventually stopped cooperating and demanded a lawyer. Meanwhile, investigators launched searches across 3 properties owned by the MacArthurs. On the morning of October 19, 2017, Ashley was called in for questioning to keep her occupied while officers conducted their searches. At first, they found nothing, but later that day, using police dogs, they made a horrifying discovery. A small, recently dug pit covered with concrete caught their attention. When officers began digging, their worst fears were confirmed. A human skull with a bullet hole lay beneath the dirt and debris. Nearby, they found a necklace identical to the one Taylor had been wearing in a photo. Forensic tests confirmed the remains belonged to Taylor Wright. That same evening, Ashley MacArthur was arrested and charged with Taylor's murder. The trial began in August 2019. During opening statements, Ashley's defense attorney argued that there was no physical evidence linking her to the crime. He questioned Taylor's mental stability, suggesting she had been using illegal substances. But the prosecution had a different story. Assistant State Attorney Bridget Jensen laid out a compelling case. Ashley MacArthur had a clear motive: money. Taylor had persistently asked for her $34,000 back, sending multiple texts. On September 8, 2017, Ashley and Taylor met in person to discuss the money. That meeting would be Taylor Wright's last. What started as a financial dispute ended in a brutal betrayal. A woman trusted her friend, only to be deceived in the worst way imaginable. But in the end, justice caught up with Ashley MacArthur. On a seemingly ordinary day, Taylor Wright vanished without a trace. Her friend, Ashley MacArthur, claimed they had been horseback riding at a farm, but soon, cracks began to form in Ashley's story. The prosecutor, Assistant State Attorney Bridget Jensen, pointed out that cell tower records placed Ashley miles away from the farm at the exact time she claimed to be there. Suspicion grew as investigators began to dig deeper into Ashley's double life. Ashley MacArthur, a married woman, had a secret affair with a man named Brandon Beatty. Her financial troubles mounted, and soon it was revealed that she had spent nearly all of Taylor's money Taylor had entrusted to her. Investigators discovered that Ashley had used the stolen funds to purchase a boat for her secret lover. In court, Brandon admitted that Ashley constantly showered him with expensive gifts, but he had no idea where the money came from. Then came the most chilling revelation. Taylor Wright's body was found in October 2017, buried in a shallow grave on a piece of land owned by the MacArthur family. The grave was hastily covered with concrete and potting soil. Surveillance footage from a local Home Depot surfaced, showing Ashley purchasing the exact same materials, just days after Taylor disappeared. When authorities unearthed Taylor's remains, they found a projectile lodged in the back of her skull, though it was too damaged to be linked to a specific firearm. Ashley's defense team fought back, arguing that she had chronic back issues and couldn't have moved Taylor's body alone. They pointed out that no crime weapon, no eyewitnesses, and no DNA evidence directly linked her to the murder. They even tried to cast suspicion on Taylor's ex-husband, Jeff, despite his airtight alibi. But the most damning evidence against Ashley came from her own words. During the trial, a bartender named Audrey Warren testified that Ashley had openly boasted about wanting Taylor dead. She revealed that Ashley once spoke about slipping an illegal substance into Taylor's beer, coldly stating that this world would be better without Taylor. When questioned further, Audrey recalled Ashley making a chilling remark. "She's too small to fight back, so I'd just shoot her." But Taylor's murder wasn't Ashley's only crime. As the trial unfolded, jurors learned that she had also been embezzling thousands of dollars from her family's business, Pensacola Automatic Amusement. Between 2015 and 2017, she pocketed revenue meant for local businesses, including the Azalea Cocktail Lounge and Seville Quarter. The stolen funds amounted to over $13,000. And then, just as suspicions rose, a suspicious fire broke out at the company. On the very day she was scheduled to meet with Azalea's management about the missing money. Investigators later determined that two separate fires had been set, deliberately, using kerosene or diesel fuel. Witnesses testified that the security alarm triggered twice the night before the fire, and Ashley had conveniently been the one to check on the building both times. When she returned the next morning, she noticed smoke and called the fire department. Later, she claimed that disgruntled ex-employees might have been responsible. Larry Johnson, a former Pensacola City Council member and owner of the Azalea Cocktail Lounge, didn't mince words when he testified against her. "This is a very dangerous individual," he warned the court. "She's a world-class con artist. She conned me, and I believe she deserves a significant prison sentence." Judge Jan Shackelford agreed. Ashley was sentenced to 84 months in state prison for her financial crimes, followed by 3 years of probation. But her biggest reckoning was yet to come. After a tense 4-day trial, the jury deliberated for just over 2 hours before reaching a verdict. Guilty. Ashley MacArthur was sentenced to life in prison with a mandatory minimum of 25 years. She later attempted to appeal the decision, arguing that the jury had seen a photo of her holding a shotgun and that certain evidence should not have been admitted. But the courts denied her appeal. As of 2024, Ashley MacArthur remains incarcerated at Lowell Annex Correctional Institution in Ocala, serving out her life sentence. Her story serves as a chilling reminder of the depths of betrayal, greed, and cold-blooded murder.
This was today's true story. Our aim is for people to learn from such incidents and strive to improve society. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.